Good morning, Wayfarers. Coming at you from the Pacific. 5:50, matters not. Today we are talking about the Wayfarer's Guide. Now, the Wayfarer's Guide, you'll see to my right, this is the updated character sheet for Wayfarers. I'm going to be looking at chapter 3 of Beyond the Obsidian Veil. There's been a lot of updates since the last video that I did last week on the 2nd, on the 5th. This video is going to be touching on how to create a Wayfarer, and we're going to be basically looking at the basics of a lot of what is available in the book. And by the basics, I simply mean we are going to be looking at basically the first thing that I see, just because there's a lot of options and I don't want to overwhelm you, but I'm going to show you what is available. So first of all, what are the changes in the character sheet? You'll see that there is an age option here, renown. There's an option to write a description. We're going to be looking at some imagination tables. These are rollable tables that you can simply decide based on what you roll. I added a combat scene AP tracker. So for combat, every combat scene, a player starts with 3 action points that they can use. Then regarding on their initiative, whether they go fast or slow, either grants them AP or does not grant them AP and gives them an action or 2 actions to do. So for going fast, you get 0 AP using the base 3 AP to start with, and then you take 1 action, either a move or an action. You can use your action features, your skills, or simply strike at them. And you'll see over here, I changed the adventure points just because it was too close in how it was shortened. You'll see that adventure points would be AP. So I changed it to path token, PT, and then you'll see here successful rolls to path token tracker. Every 3 successful rolls equals 1 path token. 1, 2, 3. We're going to be looking at the online version, which allows us to edit it. You'll see with the online version, there's drop-down menus. You can always mess around with your combat scene tracker depending on, let's say, I go fast, so I gain 2. So it gives me 5. And we can type things up. So it's cool. I already created one. This is basically gonna be a final look at what we are trying to go for. These pages here are mostly related to the Masters of the Aether, which is the supplement book that's not going to be coming out until a couple years. Still working on it. Yeah, without further ado, let's get going. The Wayfarer's Guide. So what is a Wayfarer? There are 5 ancestries that you'll find within the Wayfarer's Guide. These are the Kithfolk. Kithfolk are adaptable and versatile. They're basically your human type of people. And you'll see their ancestries are down here. The Kithfolk are derivative of the races of Theos. You'll find the Masters of within the Masters of the Aether, there are ancestries that touch on these, well, the supplement races, I suppose. But within the Masters of the Aether, I really just wanted to boil it down to Kithfolk. So Wayfarers are you and I, people that have traversed the Obsidian Veil. They believed in the impossible and were able to, through a ritual called the Ritual of Ascension, traverse into this world where they basically become what they imagine. So think a little bit, I suppose, of like Die, the comic, or Jumanji or Sword Art Online, where they go into another realm. Isekai gaming, I suppose, or isekai type of medium within the nerddom that you and I know. So race folk. Kid folk are adaptable and versatile. Their skills and personal flavors can differ greatly based on their cultural background. You'll see that we have Arvani. These are masters of the sea, shipwrights. We have Hawkins, who are avian type of kid folk. Lurians, who are mountain dwellers. They came from the Dwemer here. Yasari, imperialist, they are the true bloods. Will not commingle with any of the races of the Aether, or races of Theos. And then there's Zephyrians, who are descendants of the Aethari. No, sorry, not the Aethari, the Eldar, who are your elvish type people. So we are going to be choosing the Arvani to focus our character sheet, just because they are the first. Actually, we're gonna do a Zephyrian. Actually, no, we're gonna stick to the Arvani. So you'll see here within at the beginning of every single ancestry, you'll see the etymology and usage, origins, physiology, culture, and society. Won't read it for simplicity's sake, but you get a little bit of flavor text here to go off of. Some art here by a shipwright. And then we go into the meat of things. So Arvani, masters of the sea. They're known for their exceptional navigation skills. The Arvani have a deep connection with the sea. Their understanding of the oceanic depths grant them unique personal flavors, bonuses like linked to maritime survival. So every Wayfarer starts with choosing one background, one skill that can be refined. And you'll see the refined here cost 5 PT path tokens, 10 path tokens, 15 path tokens in case you want to refine your skills. You get to choose one passive feature and one personal flavor. So we are going to go with Sea Navigator. So you honed the skills of expertly piloting vessels through calm and tempest alike. Our starting equipment, and we'll go to our equipment over here. Starting equipment is a map of well-trodden trade routes. So you can work with your candle keeper to determine what that does or how that interacts within any travel that you do throughout your ventures. So skills, we gain a bonus adventure die, simplify it to AD to control sail checks. And I'll leave it at that. Actually, I think what I'll do this navigator AD to control sail checks. There we go. Then we get to choose a skill. I think, and actually we're gonna go with Arwen again. Actually, no. I'll go with my usual name, Daron Elysium, for our Wayfarer today. And Daron is going to be a sailor, so he'll be very good at sailing. He already has a bonus to his control checks by rolling an adventure die. That means let's say our control check was a D8. We get to add a D4 as a bonus to our roll. And you'll see that I rolled here an 8. The M.A.D system allows us to explode our die, so we roll again. So that was 9. Okay, that's 17. Cool. Anyway, moving on. So we get to add this skill to our skill list right over here. So Sailor, advantage D8, we'll simplify it to AD8 to control sail checks. And you'll see a little flavor text here when maneuvering a vessel. But we will just leave it at this, AD8 to control sail checks. All right, so let's say throughout my play, I gained 5 path tokens. I can, if I want to, spend all of those to refine it and gain me the Navigator's Eye, +1 to lead rolls related to spot checks. So I would add it here, +1 to lead spot checks. That means like perception checks in essence. Alrighty, then we get to choose a passive feature. Passive features will be found down here. And we are going to do +1 to defend rolls. So sea legs. That means any defend roll that we do is with an added +1. And personal flavors, these are used once per day. Anything during combat that you use to power something up takes an action point. So with our personal flavor, on AP during combat scene, we'll do Ocean's Fury, which basically grants us the empowered condition. We call upon the fury of the ocean to empower our attacks, granting us the empowered condition. Now, within the character sheets that I've provided, I have these lovely little reference sheets in order to basically see what the empowered what conditions do. You'll see the attributes, conditions, and effects. For empowered and weakened, increase the body die step by 1, increase strike die, increase shoot die. So these 3 things are affected by the empowered or weakened condition. So basically, let's say I'll write it down here. Body, spirit, mind are a step up. This means, let's say our strike die was a D6. When empowered, I think I said my strike die. Yeah, my strike die, my body die, and my shoot were D6s. I'd say that's how I decided to spend my the soul array that we'll look into. When powered, they are a D8 until I use them. So let's say I was encountering a dread of a D10. I would roll against that to see if I won. I did not. So let's say I used up that condition, and it is brought down to a D6. So it's basically a one and done. That's how conditions work. We'll look at the actual language here. Powered. Right over here. So conditions are temporary, typically lasting until a Wayfarer makes 1 check using the affected attribute. For instance, if a Wayfarer is weakened, their next strike will be performed with a step down die. After performing this action, the weakened condition is removed. However, if the Wayfarer does not use the strike during their turn or does not perform any action that requires a body or shoot check, the weakened condition persists. And now let's go back to this. So we chose the Ocean's Fury as our personal flavor. And that's basically it for deciding your ancestry. We chose Sea Navigator, Sailor, Sea Legs, as well as Ocean's Fury. Something that you can do for those that love a random option, you can roll to determine what you get. So you'll see here that for background skills, it's an option of 1 through 4. So you can roll a D4 to choose one. For skills, you'll see it's 1 through 5, not 1 through 6, 1 through 5, but you can roll a 1d6 and re-roll on that 6. 4, so we chose Abyssal Hunter. Same thing with passive feature, roll on a d6 and so re-roll on a 6. We got 2, so you would choose Tidal Sense. And the same thing with personal flavor, roll a d6, 5, Ocean's Depth. Things like that. Okay. Moving on, after we choose our ancestry, we move on to our companions. Now, in any tabletop RPG game, you'll see that there is often a lack of stabilization in the game that you're playing regarding your character. Your character almost feels disconnected. I've tried to alleviate that by providing a companions table, so friends and rivals. You have a little snippet here, give them a name, give them a sentence of physical description, give them a sentence describing your utility, write a line or two about how you met them. Social circles, significant interaction, how did you meet? So you'll see that there are some tables here for you to roll. We'll say for allies, one of our friends is, we'll say Bones. They run with musicians. We last interacted with them after, we'll do collaborated on an art piece. Why not? Bones is a musician and a very creative type. An art piece doesn't have to be just simple art. It could also be music. Musicano. Musician. There it is. How did we meet? We were both arrested. Utility. Utility is a fun portion of it. Basically, it's letting your Candlekeeper know that this person is good at a certain thing. So whenever I meet up with them, I can ask and request for that certain thing. And we'll say that they are an expert tracker. We'll leave it tracker. Now with rival, you do all of these minus utility. You basically tell us why they're your rival. In a portion of the game, you could say you're meeting your rival, and we'll see how that basically that interaction plays out. You could say that, we're trying to kill the rival, or we're trying to pin them for something malicious in order to get them in trouble and go to jail. So social circles, we'll say that they're a knight. Give them a name. We'll say Bo, for simplicity's sake, sure. Say that they're a knight called Wardens here. our last interaction was a tournament competition. How did we meet? We'll do, actually, I should be rolling these. Since that is the way that this goes, how did we meet? We roll a d12. 9. We worked on the same farm or labor camp. Do same farm. Utility, we're ignoring that and instead doing rivalry. Let's roll on that d12. 8. A failed business venture. Okay, so that is our companions. Now, factions. Within factions, you'll get to choose one of 3 different skills. You can refine those skills, 5 path tokens to move that AD8 to AD10, 10 path tokens to move AD10 to AD12. AD basically means advantage. Look back at the skills that we wrote. So for sailor, AD8, advantage D8. That means we get to roll our control with an advantage D8 and take the highest of the 2 rolled. So within a faction, we can decide to either choose a faction. There are 9 options here. Or what we can do is forego the factions and choose 2 personal flavors. Let's say that you are against being in a faction and you are trying to create your own faction with the people that you have around you. So you go to page 69 down here and choose 2. You'll see that there are 100 options, 2 personal flavors, or 1 from a faction and 1 from a personal flavor. We'll say that this individual, we'll say that Daron is not a person that would be with a faction, so we are going to be going to personal flavors. Now, we can, if we want, choose 2 of the 100, but I think I am going to actually roll. So that'll be 58. And with a lot of these personal flavors, you'll see that they're very interesting. You have your classic kind of I forget the class in D&D, but you have beast form right over here, animal companion if you so desire. There's bears a holy shield. Your Wayfarer wields a shield imbued with holy power, enabling them to deflect or absorb mystical attacks. When you successfully defend against a magical attack, you can add a bonus d6 to your next spirit roll. So things like that either gives you advantage, or for instance with Martyr, your willingness to compromise your safety for the collective benefit is noteworthy. Accumulate 3 stress. That means you would inflict 3 stress on yourself, marked by a d20 or written down like this, and immediately contribute 2 teamwork points to the group. Teamwork points are accumulated through failed rolls. Apologies for the dinging you hear. That is my mail system going all crazy. So anyway, we chose 58. We rolled on a 58. Your Wayfarer has photographic memory. So that is pretty cool. It's a little flavor. Actually, I wonder if I can copy it. So we have recall. There we go. Like this. Shad's Fury and Recall. And then let's roll another for 17. Steel Wall. You're a bulwark on the battlefield, steadfast and unyielding. You gain advantage D10 to all defend rolls when you hold your ground and don't move on your turn for the next round. So we get 80-10 to defend rolls when you don't move on your turn. So how I'm reading this, and a lot of how I've written this is stuff that makes sense to me. So when we don't move on our turn, the next round we get advantage D10 to our defend roll. So let's say there is no need to move, and you didn't move on your turn. The next round of combat, you would have advantage D10 to your defend rolls. So Steel Wall. Beautiful. So that is our 2 personal flavors that we've chosen. I can move this into skills or personal flavors. I typically like to keep anything that gives me advantages right over here in my skills, or you can place it in your personal flavors. Now moving on from personal flavors, we have the soul system. This system basically determines where we are placing these dice, these eight dice, into our action die, our attributes and domains. Once again, domains are body, mind, spirit. Attributes: strike, shoot, control, lead, and defend. So we'll just go with option 1 and place them as we read them. So strike will do an 8, body will do an 8, shoot will do a 6, control will do a 6, mind will do a 6, lead 4, spirit 4, defend 4. So whenever there is a check or a roll that needs to be done against the dread die, we roll either an attribute or a domain action die against the dread set by the Candlekeeper. So let's say we are sailing, and you'll see that we have advantage die bonus to our control check, and we have advantage D8 to our control check. So let's say the dread during that sail was a D4. So we have advantage D8. So we roll these 2 and take the highest. So it's 7 against the dread. Let's say it was a D4. 4, gotta roll again on that 4. 4, gotta roll again on that 4. 2, so 4, 8, 10. So 10, but we get so the dread was total to 10. I rolled multiple times for that just because the dread die exploded. But we do have our adventure die as a bonus, and the adventure die always starts with a D4. You can upgrade it as you wish, but we'll start off with just that regular D4. Ooh, and unfortunately we did not succeed. That was a failure, so we would place that failure into the teamwork pool, and we would get 1 teamwork point for that failure. So those are our domains and attributes, our action die based on the soul system. Option 1 is the most standard choice. Option 2 will be a bit more rounded. And option 3 is strong at a few things, and we get other things. So D8, so D6, and multiple D4s. Here are some examples. See, I've listed it out for the Titan as well as the Exile. You'll see here it's the path And right over here is the profession. Now we move on to our paths and professions. You'll see here that every single path starts, there are 5 fixed skills, non-refinable, 5 passive features, 5 personal flavors, 5 action features, and 1 teamwork feature. When starting your Wayfarer and choosing your path, you get to choose 2 skills, 1 passive feature, 1 personal feature, and 1 action feature. After 5 path tokens, after 5 success, or I guess 15 successful rolls, you get to spend your 5 path tokens to purchase a profession. Those are the subclasses of the paths. You'll see here that you are able to upgrade and advance your path token. So let's say you want to move it up to a D6. You would spend 15 path tokens to increase that. Imagination pool is always half of our spirit die. So it's a D4. So our imagination currently is at 2. These are for automatic successes based on the action features. For action features, you spend your AP cost to activate your action feature, and you either roll your attribute die or spend imagination or stress to automatically succeed. These, let's say if it's a attack that gets you bonus +2 to your attack. You can either roll the attribute to succeed or spend 2 imagination or stress to give you those +2 bonus. And then teamwork points. Teamwork points become relevant after you accumulated seven teamwork points. Additional features can be acquired for 15 path tokens. And then cross-path purchases. Let's say you're interested in being, or multi-classing, I suppose. You can purchase from other paths and professions, but they are double their price. So if a feature would cost 5 path tokens to acquire, it would now be +10 in a different one. And we are going into, was deciding on Path of the Titan, but I haven't really created a Path of the Exile yet. So that's what we're going to do. And in case you forget what you can choose 2 skills, 1 passive feature, 1 personal flavor, and 1 action feature. You'll have a little blurb here that basically kind of adds to the reason why your character became this path. So the allure of boundless freedom beckons as you step beyond the mundane realm, into a domain where cunning and agility forge the essence of your imagination. Here you are reborn as an exile, a master of shadows and deceit. As an exile, you traverse the unseen trails of treachery, always skirting the grasp of peril, forging a legend shrouded in mystery. You'll see that within our path, we do have a path-specific attribute die. That means our strike is now a D8. Unfortunately, we already chose D8, so what we're going to do is pretend our control was a D8 and our strike was a D6. So I switch those two. And I will choose, and I will upgrade the strike now to a D8. Adventure die, you'll see the adventure die always starts at a 4. You'll see here that these are the progressions, so you could be upgrading them with 15 path tokens. You'll see down here we have our starting gear. Now the starting gear is more flavor. So a helm, you'll see it's a hood, but we can get a little colorful with it. So let's say it's an ashen Shadow leather pants are Exiles pants. Let's say they are also Ashen pants. We have an amulet, the Shadow amulet. Ring of Shadow. Don't have a focus. Focus will come in handy if we're trying to cast spells with our path. There are spell action features that we'll look into later, as well as weapon action features in case you want to focus your Wayfarer with either spell casting or being really good at wielding a weapon. So weapon, we have 2 daggers. Daggers are simple. So simple basically means that we have +1 to our attack, our strike. And actually I'll do, yeah, dagger +1 strike. So you'll see that they have the light option. Light. What that basically means is that our multi-attack is now 1 AP. And our combat rolls are at a step down to their original value. So you'll see that if we do choose to do multi-attack usually costs 3 AP. And it brings our that attack roll a step down. Let's say we are attacking a Chimera, sure, and their dread is a D8. You'll see that our strike is a D8, but let's say we do multi-attack and spend 1 AP. So now we have 2 AP. And we get to strike twice. So we're going to strike twice. Both of them have +1 to their strike. So first roll, D6. That's 6. Roll again. So that's 11 +1. So that's 12 -4. So that is, I believe, an 8, if I'm doing quick math here. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Yeah. So the first strike causes 8 damage. And then our second strike fails. Oh, I didn't roll the D8. Let's do that. Okay, so fails, and they defend with, oh, I'm so sorry. 6, meet and beat. So they take a minimum of 1 strike, or if you want to rule it that if it meets during combat, they don't if they meet during combat, they don't deal any damage. You can definitely do that. So that's basically what multi-attack does. You see we have our items here, 200 credits. You can talk to your candle keeper to decide whether or not you want to purchase anything before game start. And then we have Thieves Tools or Disguise Kit. We'll do Thieves Tools. A set of lockpicks and other. So basically we can pick locks doing a control ledger domain check. We do have some free proficiencies. Simple, light, ranged. As well as a free passive feature, which is goal. So on a successful killing blow, you disappear. So kill equals hidden, cannot be seen or heard. AD 10 to next combat roll. and then you reappear on your next attack or after one round, 1 minute. And now we get to choose one skill or two skills, one passive feature, one personal flavor, and one action feature. So we have our skills right here, passive features right here, personal flavors, action feature, as well as our teamwork power attack. So skills, not refine or buy additional. We get to choose two of these. We'll say Shadow Strike and Agile Escape for simplicity's sake. Let's read what they do. This grants advantage D8 on attack rolls made against surprised or unaware enemies. Again, work with your keeper to determine what this looks like and to basically either succeed or not succeed on these things. So let's say we're shooting from afar and we have a bow. It's a D6 against an unaware enemy. So 88, 5 against, let's say the dread is a 4, 3. We beat that and subtract to deal the damage. Agile Escape. With honed reflexes, exiles can successfully dodge incoming attacks at an increased success rate. This grants bonus adventure die on a reaction or on turn parry attack action. That means if we do the parry dodge action, we get a +2 to our defend plus the bonus adventure die. Let's go to, it's going to search it on the book, but we actually have it down here. You'll see parry and dodge action cost 1 AP. On turn or reaction, gain the protected condition. Shield or offhand grants bonus adventure die to your defend roll. Dang, so we get to roll bonus adventure die twice. So let's say as a reaction, we are being attacked by a dread of a D10, and our defend is a D4. We get to, that's 4, so roll again. So 5 against the 7, but let's say as a reaction, we spend 1 AP. And we decide that we are going to do our parry dodge action. So it grants us +2 to defend. So 5, 6, 7, plus an adventure die. And because we do have a dagger, that's plus another adventure die. So 6, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is 13 against that dread of a 7. That means we defended against that attack. You'll see that the Beyond is heavily, or you roll a lot. I love rolling dice. I'm a dice goblin, so it's exactly why I decided this and how I created it. Focused on rolling a lot. So our passive feature will do evasive maneuver, which is 1 AP. Oh, didn't copy over. There it is. As a reaction, when you take stress, roll a D4 and reduce the stress taken by the rolled amount. So let's say it's a D12 against our defend of a D4. We take 2 stress, 4 minus 2. But I'm going to spend 1 AP. Basically gives me down to 0. Let's say it's, for whatever reason, during the same, actually that's impossible. I was going to say during the same round, but you can't do multiple reactions. So 3 AP, new round. They go fast, I go slow. They struck at me. I take 2. I get to roll that D4 to subtract. There we go. And I did not take any stress. So that is the evasive maneuver. Now, personal flavors. For personal flavors, we get to choose one and then one action feature. You can see we can purchase additional skills for 10 path tokens. So we, for simplicity's sake, we'll do Assassin's Strike for the personal flavor. When you approach an enemy who is not engaged with you and is not aware of your presence, you move from close to engaged. Recall that there are a total of 5 different movement types within Beyond, 3 that are relevant within a zone. There is nearby, which is at the edge of your zone. Say this, edge of your zone. There's close, which is a step away from where you're at, and then engaged, where you are touching that target. There is also far, which is 3 steps away from you. So from engaged to close to nearby to far. And then there's out of range. So if you move from close to engaged against an enemy who is not engaged with you and is not aware of your presence, we can strike from behind and gain +2. +2 to strike, +2 strike when target is unaware. We'll do that. And then our action feature. You'll see that they're written like this. Once again, you spend your action point to activate the action feature and either roll the attribute or domain or spend the minimum imagination or stress to automatically succeed. So we'll do Fade Away. And we will just copy this. Now, what is Fade Away? So enemies attempting to attack must roll against our body as you swiftly dodge their attack. If they fail, their attempt is thwarted and they lose 1 AP on their next turn. So this, let's say we're being attacked, but you say Fade Away, spending that reaction, 1 AP. They roll, what is our body? Our body is a D8. Let's say they roll their dread. Let's say the dread is D8 against our D6. We won. So their attempt is thwarted and they lose 1 AP on their next turn. And then our teamwork power attacks. Teamwork power attacks are right down here. They cost 7 teamwork points to perform. So when activated, your faction is granted a free action. Free action to faction, dealing bonus stress equal to the exile strike roll. So we would roll our strike. Strike is a D8. And they get a bonus 2 to their strike roll. So bonus strike roll. Any enemy not targeted, any enemy not targeted gains the shaken condition on the next round. It's written down here. And then what is the shaken condition? It's a good question. The shaken condition affects lead and spirit die. So they basically have disadvantage on their next roll. And that is Daran. You'll see that we have our professions here. So after 5 path tokens, I can purchase this to gain 2 action features or 1 teamwork and 1 teamwork feature. So we have free proficiency here, 2 free skills, as well as our action features, and then our teamwork features. We have Hunter and Muse. Scrolling down, we have Path of the Weaver. I wanted to show you the spell action features. There we go, Spells of the Aether. So our first purchase of spell action feature comes at a cost of 5 path tokens. This is only applicable if we have a focus or a wand in one of our hands. So this acts as our second hand, which costs 50 credits at a settlement. When deciding to buy, select a domain that aligns with your chosen profession. So you must already have a profession set in place. So let's go to Path of the Exile. Let's say that we decided that we are a Wraith. The 2 spell domains that we have available to us are Illusionist and Nature Control. So we go down to Illusionist. We get to choose one from here. There are certain spells that you can upgrade. So for Cast Illusion, Minor Illusion, Major Illusion, you see their upgrade costs right here. And then, of course, there are additional teamwork power attacks if you want to purchase those. They are specific to your path. So Blade Dance is one for Exile. And that is basically it for creating our Wayfarer. You'll see that we'll go to character advancement here. We're going here just to give you a glimpse at what you can do with your path tokens. So professions, 5 path tokens to purchase one of 3 subclasses from your chosen path. You can buy skills at 10 path tokens, refine skills, 5, 10, 15. You can upgrade your domain dice for 15, or your attribute die, these for 15, or your adventure die for 15. Now, age. Age is specific to the age of existence that you exist in. There are 3 different ages of existence: Age of Chaos, Order, and the Age of Creation. You don't have to start as a youth. You can do the Age of Endeavor or the Age of Twilight as you exist in this in the Aether, and you inhabit your avatar and basically decide, what you look like. But roughly, youth is from 0 to 30 years old. It's marked by discovery and growth. Writing Exile here. We'll touch on description here when we get to our imagination tables. That'll be the last portion that we do for this video. The Age of Endeavor, accomplishments and legacies are forged. Let's say you turn 30. You get to increase 3 attributes by a step. Choose either strike, shoot, control, lead, or defend. Let's say we go to the Age of Endeavor. Let's say several years have passed. We'll upgrade our strike to a 10. I'll keep it as D8. Or not our mind. There we go. We'll upgrade this. The lead, our spirit, and our defend. Not our spirit, because that is a domain. Shoot. Yeah, there we go. D8. Twilight Years, we get to increase 1 domain by a step. And then Renown. This is our influence within a province. This is mostly related to, let's say that you want to become a ruler of a hold, basically have influence over a specific part of the province that you exist in. Unknown, everyone starts at unknown. there are Whispered, Renowned, Celebrated, Lord, Hero, and Sovereign. You'll see here, Whispered, you gain the Whispered Renown after completing 1 mission within the province. Renowned, 3 missions after Whispered, 5 missions after Renowned. Lord, 1 mission from the Seat of Power, or alternatively, you can kill the Lord in that hold. Hero, you avert 5 crises, and then Sovereign, you are seated at the Seat of Power. There are different leveling speed. So slow leveling, this is dependent on your Candlekeeper. You can do slow leveling, which grants you 1 path token at the conclusion of an episode or your session. And then there is fast leveling, which grants you 3 path tokens at the end of an episode or session. Earning path tokens, again, 3 successful rolls equals 1 path token. So now let's go to our imagination tables and conclude our video there. So imagination tables are found on page 168. Let's go over to it. For some reason it's not showing. That's okay. We'll scroll over to it. I roughly know where it is. It's in our Candlekeeper's Requiem chapter. Scroll down here. See Renown. Renown is over here. Imagination tables. Let's say, and we're rolling for this. This basically determines the people of the realm, herself included. Roll a d6, 2d6. For our physique and dress, we are robust and have tattered clothing. Robust, tattered clothing. That means a lot of our armor is tattered hood, leather, ashen pants, etc., etc. Name of the realm, you can roll this for your NPCs. Personality, if you are trying to get personality and interests kind of sorted out, or if you have an idea, go for it. Backgrounds as well. And that concludes the creation of our Wayfarer. So it's a lot of options. I understand. I personally love options just because there is a lot that I can do with my character within the province that is created by my Candlekeeper to break the rules and basically be incredible. Once again, a Wayfarer is somebody who has traversed beyond the Obsidian Veil, someone who you take on as an avatar. Basically, they are what you've always imagined yourself to be. And part of why I've given myself a lot of options and created a lot of options within Beyond the Obsidian Veil is because I love options. I love options, and I love to create and do things with my character that I never thought were possible within my own body. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. Next video will be the conclusion of our 3-part series looking on Beyond the Obsidian Veil. You can start play testing this. You can find it all over social media, or continue to follow this YouTube channel and submit some questions as you see fit. Take care, y'all.